Hey guys,
Hey!
how are you?
We're on day 92 of the quarantine, and yet again, we just wanted to bring you some encouragement and share with you some things that God has been doing this past week in our church. And I know that we've talked a lot about in previous updates, just kind of the things that we're doing, and I just want to share with you some of those things that we've been doing every week. Every single week, our church produces or puts out something that's called the Haciendo Iglesia podcast. And Haciendo Iglesia, we've talked about it before, means doing church. And it's our pastors' roundtables that we get to do all over South America and now in the States.
Yes, now in the States.
In Florida. And so Pastor Robert and our main pastor and his son, Pastor Taylor, they actually record every single week a podcast for these pastors, and they put it out. And along with that, they do lives on social media every week. And they're doing interviews with pastors and then interviews with people from our church, from our staff. And so it's just really cool to see those things and just to be able to share with the Latin community what's going on here and bring them encouragement as well. And then you also have heard us talk about the Kids Club. Every single week we get to do a feeding program with the kids in some of the lower income areas. And so for us, that's just such a huge blessing to be able to continue to do that. I don't know what week
And also the homework.
Thanks. And also we're doing homework with the kids. And so basically we have volunteers that call all of these kids because they're not in school right now. And they're not able to do a lot of work online. They're not able to do any homework online. And so the volunteers, they call the kids and they actually connect with them. They talk about the week, how they're doing, and they do tutoring over the phone. And so that's really cool. Or over Zoom or something like that if they're able to. And then another thing that we do every week is our online services. And I know all of your churches are doing that as well. I just think it's so awesome. Here we actually get to do 7 different services every single Sunday. They're all live, except for the worship is pre-recorded, but the messages are live. And so we get to hear from different pastors on staff every single week. And this past Sunday, Stalin was able to translate for one of our pastors, Pastor Al Fury from
Australia.
Yeah, from Australia. I was going to say New Zealand. He's originally from New Zealand. And we're going to put that video in our newsletter that we send out. And so if you aren't on our newsletter list and you want to be, let us know and we'll add you. But the video is an hour long, and so if you just want to hear the English part, you have to go to the middle of the transmission. So it's about 33 minutes in, and you can watch that. It's about 15 minutes, the message. And so those are just some of the awesome things that we get to do every single week. And a new one that we're adding actually this Thursday is something called virtual mission trips. And so obviously people aren't traveling like they normally would, and that's the case for a lot of the mission trips. A lot of churches, a lot of your churches that were planning on doing mission trips this year that aren't going to be able to, we're actually doing virtual mission trips. And we're going to have more on that on our live feed on Thursday through our Life Missions account if you want to go and check that out. But basically it's just a way to stay connected with you guys, with churches in the States, for churches to stay connected with what's going on here and see all of the incredible things. And obviously it's not the same experience, but we're going to try to make it as live. It will be live, but we're going to try to make it as real as possible. I think Coda wants to jump in here.
We got Coda here.
Yeah. So, do you want to jump in and share?
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are keeping up with all the info we're giving you. If not, you can always go to our website, which is stalinandpage.com. And you'll find a lot of the information that we are sharing here. Or you can go to our church website, which is caminodevida.com. And of course, you'll have to know Spanish.
Well, the English webpage for that is lifemissions.com. So everything that's on our church website is also on our Life Missions website. So
There you go. There you go. She passed the test. Anyway, I wanted to share with you. I want to quote today a lot of things, and I hope you can just stick around with me for the next few minutes, because I was reading a book. I'm reading like 3 books simultaneously. I don't know. Hopefully that'll work for me, because I don't know. So one of these books is called Psalms in the First Person by Eugene Peterson. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. The guy that translated the Message Bible.
Yeah.
An amazing man of God that, of course, is passed. But the thing is, he wrote many books, and one of them is Psalms in the First Person. And he shares this exercise he did for years of when we read the Psalms, we read them, right? But he is in this book trying to listen from God, as if God is speaking in the first person. So I wanted to share Psalm 18, and I love it. And I hope you can stay with me, because I think this can bless your life. Remember, this is Psalm 18 in the first person, written by Eugene Peterson. So it might sound a little bit different from the normal version, but it's the same. It's just in the first person. It says, Psalm 18, I hear you say, I love you. It's music to my ears. I love to hear you say it. I especially love to see you demonstrate your love for me. Mm-hmm. I am progressively becoming your strength. You are relying more and more on me and less on your strength. That's good. Now my power can reside in your weakness. I'm your rock. I'm your safe place and your refuge. But I'm not only your stationary rock. I reach out and rescue you. I deliver you and pull you into my safety. I'm the shield that blocks the blows designed to destroy you. I'm the horn that sounds, announcing my location and presence so you can simply run toward the sound. I am your stronghold. You call upon me because I'm worthy of your praise. When you call upon me, I respond and save you from your enemies. I was not unaware. I was watching as the cords of death entangled you and began to tie you up and choke you. Your terror mounted. Your fear overwhelmed you as the torrents of destruction and ungodliness rained down on you. The cords of the grave were reaching up for you, coiling around you like a living snake. The traps and snares of death were in your face, confronting you, reaching out for you. You couldn't see the light because these aggressive cords of evil had completely wrapped you up in darkness. Then you cried out to me for help. In your distress, you called out in desperation for deliverance. And I heard you. From the depth of your entangled mess, your cries for help reached my ears. Mm-hmm. Your scream was heard in my throne room. Then all heaven broke loose. I didn't send my warring angels to your rescue. I came myself. My response to your cry caused earthquakes. The very foundations of mountains trembled at my anger. Smoke poured from my nostrils, fire shot from my mouth, devouring everything in my path. I threw back the curtain of heaven and came down. Dark clouds were under my feet. I mounted the cherubim and rode them. Hope I said it well. I flew upon the mighty angels. I soared to your rescue on the wings of the wind. I covered myself with thick darkness. The clouds boiled and advanced before me as the brilliance of my presence pushed them. Hail and bolts of lightning poured from the clouds. I thundered from the heavens. My voice echoed through the skies. I shot my arrows and scattered your enemies. Great bolts of lightning confused and routed them. When my rebuke was heard, the valleys of sea were exposed. The foundations of the earth laid bare. Everything was revealed. My fingers wrapped around you rest securely. I lifted you out of deep waters. I rescued you from my powerful enemy, or from your powerful enemy, from those who hated you, from those who too mighty for you, from those bent on killing you. And this is just part of the psalm. And one of the things that I love the most about this psalm in the first person is that it says that we or in English there's a phrase, all hell broke loose when something goes really bad. And I love the part where it says all heaven broke loose, because that is much worse than when hell breaks loose, right? It's much worse. It's God Himself coming in to a rescue, and also this book talks about more about the psalm where it talks about open the gates of heaven, or open the gates of the city, because the King is coming. And the spin that the writer gives to it is that when God, it's saying open the gates because the King is coming, is because the King has been outside of the city battling a battle. And that battle that he's been battling is your battle, my battle. He has not been sleeping. He has not been absent. God is fighting battles for you and for me that we don't even know. That we don't even think He is. Our God is always actively doing something in our favor. He is. And you might not see it right now. And you know what? I haven't seen it either. It's easy and it's normal as humans. We get entangled in our reality, but there's a bigger reality than the one that we are in this moment, wherever it is. It might be depression, or it might be just this feeling of or yuck, right? Or blah, or it might be just this feeling of apathy that we might have. I don't know what you're going through. Maybe you're doing well. Maybe you are doing great. But even then, there are battles that God is fighting for you and for me that you don't even know. Yeah. The devil wants to destroy us. He is bad. My pastor always says this, and it's very simple, but it's super deep. He says, God is good, the devil is evil. Yeah. He is bad. Our God is good. So anyway, Psalms in the first person, if you can get a hold of that book, I'm pretty sure it's gonna bless your life. It's blessing my life, and I can't wait until I get the next hour free and I can read it. It's been crazy, like Paige has said, but it's a good crazy. Just doing things at home for our own family, but also being able to be part of a church like Camino de Vida. It's just a blessing, and it's unreal sometimes. And we thank you so much for being part of all this. Thank you guys for watching this video, and for supporting us in any way you can. Whether it's financial, or through your prayers, or through messages, or through anything, we thank you very much. And like we said last week, if you wouldn't do it, we know God would find someone else to do it. But I thank you, and we thank you so much that you get to do it, because you're part of what's happening here. We trust God. At the end of the day, we know He's our provider. He's your provider, and that's great. We can rest in that, So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. And
another update is that Stellan's parents went home to their home yesterday.
No, Saturday,
2 days ago. And so we're on our own again.
Yes.
So that's something new.
Yeah, well, with Coda.
He's like a baby.
Yeah.
All right, we love you guys.
We love you guys.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.